Hey, gentlemen. Coach Tim coming to you with a weekly VIP check-in. And if you're new to this VIP group, we're glad you're here. Welcome. Some of you are just finishing up your round. You're jumping into the VIP program. If you're new to the Facebook page, we're glad you're here. This is a great place to post questions, to get some encouragement. In fact, you can video yourself and have form questions answered. There's a lot of guys in this with some knowledge, and they're glad to pass it on. So you can post your questions in this thread or in any of the workout threads, and you'll get a response. Tomorrow is Friday, and so it's a day we post our weekly wins, and so we'd love to hear what kind of progress you're making in any area, whether it's nutrition, workouts. Are you lifting heavier? Have you said no to some things that maybe are things that compromise your progress this week, and you've said no to some of those things that maybe you have hindered your progress in the past. So whatever it is, we'd love to hear about it. This week, I'm at a conference, and man, it has been challenging for me. I'm doing my best with zero control over the food to eat fairly clean. The room that I'm staying in is pretty small, and there's no gym here, so I brought bands, but I gotta say that the bed I've got is horrible, and so I've been waking up with really stiff hips and back, and I say all that because I've talked to a bunch of guys recently who travel regularly or who've been on vacation or they're going to be traveling, and they're eating out, they're having lunch meetings, dinner meetings, and sometimes that happens. And so for me, that's what's going on this week. I got a workout in, a good one, at the beginning of the week when I was traveling to get to the conference center that I'm at, and they had a gym. But since then, no workouts, and I'm looking forward to being home on Sunday. And some of you guys, whether it's a travel, whether it's a conference, or just an event, some of you guys will find that you get a little discouraged when you're off track. And sometimes we see a pattern of people entering into a program like Faster Way, and they'll go strong for a little while, and then something, whether it's an event or an injury even, throws them off track, and then the baby goes out with the bathwater, so to speak. It doesn't mean that you have to quit because you have a setback. And for me, when I'm back on Monday, I'm hitting the ground running, back in the program. I have had a week of not being able to track and not being able to exercise, but that doesn't mean that my year is compromised. It just means that I had a week that was off. And so if you find yourself with a temporary setback, now's the time to just get back in. Just get back to doing the things that you know that are foundational to your fitness journey. Eat right, exercise, get your steps in, and work on your sleep. And if it's a couple days that you're not able to do that, it doesn't mean it has to stretch into weeks. You get back on the train, so to speak, as soon as you can. Another thing I wanted to bring up was the issue of under eating. I am coaching guys in new rounds and continue to coach some of you guys who are in VIP. And one of the things that I keep bumping into is guys who are struggling to hit their macro targets on a consistent basis. And I want to just stress how big of a deal that is, because if you're trying to lose fat, if you're trying to gain muscle, if you don't want to lose muscle tissue as you age, like so many people do, you lose bone density as well, then you have to give your body the nutrition that it needs to match the activity level that you're doing. And if you don't do that, if you and I undereat consistently, our body's going to go into stress mode, to survival mode. And what that means is your body's going to hold on to fat, and it's going to get rid of your muscle tissue, because the most expensive tissue you've got is your muscle. It burns the most calories. And if your body's not getting enough calories, then it's going to shed muscle and hold on to fat. And none of us want that. So you've got to hit your macro targets. And what I do to make sure that happens is I plan out my meals before I start my day. And I know that takes extra work, but if you're trying to track after the fact, you're going to find that you're either over in some areas and under in others, or under altogether or over altogether. You won't be hitting the targets the way that you want to. So plan ahead, know what you're going to eat, and then it's just a matter of measuring out your portions. But under eating is not a recipe for success. And so many of us, I think, well, I'm doing the exercise, and yeah, I know I'm supposed to eat, but if I eat a little less, I'll lose weight a little faster. Well, actually what you'll find is guys will stall out because they're trying to exercise and they're eating less than their body needs. They're increasing the activity level, and they're putting their body in a high stress mode. And it just doesn't work that way. Your body's going to start shutting down its metabolism. You're not going to be able to build muscle tissue because you're not giving your body what it needs to build muscle. And your body's actually going to hold on to the fat that you've got. So hit those targets. Do what it takes not to undereat. And for those of you who've been in a deficit for quite a while and are beginning to stall out, maybe it's time to get out of that deficit, reset your metabolism, make sure that your body is fueled for a while, and then maybe you can talk to your coach about when to go back into a deficit. Food for thought for this week. I hope you guys have a great week. Let's see those wins tomorrow. And for me, I'll be back at it on Monday. And you guys enjoy the rest of the week and have a great leg day. Talk to you later.